Now, our special guest today is best known for a role as Ginny Weasley in all 8 of Harry Potter movies. Please welcome to Saturday Kitchen, it's the fabulous Bonnie Wright. Great to have on the show, Bonnie. And still so young, all 8 shows. And you've been a director as well.
Yes.
The career keeps changing and growing as well.
Indeed, evolving, yes.
So what's next for you then? What do we see on the pipeline? Because you want to go more behind the screens, don't you, really?
I've kind of been doing both, which has been really amazing since finishing Harry Potter. I've done a few, 3 independent films, some that are coming out at the end of this year, and then I also studied writing and directing at university, so yeah.
They're still so young?
Yes.
What do you like at cooking, though?
I do love to cook, so I'm loving watching all this when I go get involved. So.
That sounds good to me. Now, of course, at the end of today's programme, I'll either cook food heaven or food hell for Bonnie. It's either going to be something based on your favourite ingredient, and there are a lot to choose from all your travels, which is, of course, your food heaven, or your nightmare ingredient, food hell. It's up to our chefs over there and some of our viewers to decide what you'll be eating. So, food heaven, like I said, you've travelled all over the world.
Yes, I'm a huge lover of seafood,
right.
Most particularly lobster.
I think that's everybody's idea.
A lot of people have that, yeah, I think it's that indulgent kind of thing, isn't it?
Okay, and that's your food heaven?
Yes.
What about your dreaded food hell?
My food hell is mushrooms we're going for today. And I'm not like a huge fan of any aniseedy sort of vegetables or spices, like tarragon and things like that. So I think that might be with my food hell.
Well, the two go very well together in this dish that you're going to find out in a little moment's time. So it's either lobster or mushrooms for Bonnie. For food heaven, I've got a great recipe that I picked up my travels from this week. Believe it or not, I've been to Bali and amongst other places as well. The lobster is mixed with scallops, Chinese greens, and covered with a spicy lemongrass and ginger chutney with spring onions on the top. Or Bonnie could be facing food hell. Mushrooms, which are going to combine with another of your least favourite things, I know you're on about, tarragon, to make a classic chicken chasseur. The mushrooms are cooked with butter and shallots, white wine, tomato puree and a big handful of tarragon, and they're poured over some chicken pieces and served with a pile of straw fries on the side. Still not a bad dish.
No.
Lots of tarragon flavour in there, but you have to wait to the end of the show to see which one Bonnie gets. Now, if you'd like to ask a question on the show and ask a question for our chefs, then you can, of course, call this number. That's 033 0123 1410. That's 033 0123 1410. And a few of you will be able to put your questions to us live a little later on. And if I do get to speak to you, then I'll be asking you whether you want Bonnie to face food heaven or food hell. So start thinking. I reckon it's going to be lobster, though.
I hope so.
It's a good dish all the way from Bali, that one. Right, let's cook in. Away to the hobs is a woman who's used to working alongside, and you get to taste this. So have a seat over here, Monica. And you get to dive in. Tell us what you think of that one. Very quick, very simple. Dive into that. It's always the great things is the simplicity. But dive in. Tell us what you think of that one.
Okay, where should I go for the salmon? I agree, I don't like to cook my salmon loads.
Like you said, just nice and pink, that salmon as well, yeah.
Calamari. Big fan of calamari.
Yeah. But that's mild curry powder you put in there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Happy with that? There you go. Right, we need some wine to go with this. Now, it was Shakespeare's birthday this week, so we sent our wine expert, Ollie Smith, to the birthplace of the great bard, Stratford-on-Avon, to pick his wine. So what he's chosen to go with Monica's sensational seafood pasta. Cheers indeed. What do you think of this one then, Monica? Priced at just under £8. I think a bit of a bargain.
That's a great bargain. It's been a long time since I drank anything under £8.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, it's nice and cold. It's lovely.
It's a great choice. It goes really well with the seafood and the curry, as you said. I think it's a great job there.
Great with the salmon as well.
Yeah, really cuts out that fattiness, doesn't it?
Yeah, we nearly got your idea of food heaven. You like your pasta and everything else?
This is very much on a very top list for me.
Good wine. Right, coming up, Sean has an interesting surf and turf recipe to share with us. It's got to include Jersey roll potatoes.
It has,
What else has it got in it?
It's a ragu of spring lamb with spring vegetables, sea purslane, topped with some skate, and baked Jersey rolls with seaweed.
Easy as that. It's easier when you say it quick, isn't it? Right, let's jump across the channels, catch up with Rick Stein as he continues his travels through France on a canal barge. Today he's got a rendezvous with an American exile at a waterside home and he's arriving just in time for lunch. Funny that. I don't know if you've ever made scones in your life, but...
I don't know if I have, no.
It's kind of things that you were sort of learnt when you were at school, I suppose, but if you bring it all together just by the addition of a little milk. Now, different flours will absorb different amounts of milk, so if you look at the recipe that's on the website, don't follow it exact when it comes to adding the liquid, because different flours will absorb different amounts of liquid. Now, the key to it also is, well, because you've spent quite a bit of time doing this bit, what you don't want to be doing is mixing it too much now, because it's going to start to firm up even more. So just lightly on a board, hardly any flour, because the flour is going to toughen it up even more. And you can bring this together. Just a light dusting of flour over the top. And we can pat that down. So, little roll. And then using a cutter, you can use the fluted one or the plain ones, in some flour, tip it out. What I do is turn it the other way, so you get a nicer edge to it. So you just pop them out like that. So this recipe should make about sort of 6 as well.
And one for the
nice
chef.
ones. And one for the chef, yeah, exactly. Little. And we just re-roll this. Now, again, when you get to this stage, don't re-roll it out too much. It's not the kind of food that you're eating at the table on Harry Potter, is it, really?
No, I didn't have any scones. I had lots of big feasts, that's for sure.
Because it wasn't until, what, the second programme? Second film, when you started coming to the show a lot more?
Yeah, because I was, I guess, a year younger than the three, so I then joined Hogwarts in the second film.
Now, I'm going to let you into a little secret. I actually watched The Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
On the plane, on the way back.
Oh, nice.
The producer said, you've got to download it, so I was in Bali. It took 2 days to download.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But I watched it. And you were asleep for three
yeah,
quarters of it.
Yeah, I do spend a lot of time on the floor,
exactly.
semi-dead in that film.
But this was literally, you went on to what, make eight films in total?
Yeah, we made 8, yeah.
But it wasn't until the 6th film, I suppose.
That you woke up.
So, yeah. The 6th
Finally,
film, it was you and
up.
Harry then, because we always, you could tell really, but...
Yeah, I think she had her eye on Harry probably before he did. And then it all developed, yeah.
It all developed, and so much has happened since then as well, since you've left that.
Yeah.
Is there going to be another one? Do you reckon there's
No,
going to be?
I think Jo, rightly so, has kind of very much stuck to her word that she's only going to do their life at school, which I think is good, otherwise it'll lose the importance, I think.
Yeah. And then so much has happened to you, like I said, afterwards, because you got into sort of directing movies, all manner of different things.
Yes.
And writing as well is a big influence on you. Was that something that you always wanted to do while you were acting, or you were just...
I think, obviously I started on the film so young that I think it was very much an education, the entire process of making the films. I was so lucky to be able to watch so much of the process of filmmaking that I really much, fell in love with other elements other than acting, such as, writing and directing.
And how do you find that? Is it easier, more difficult?
It's really different. It's interesting how much they inform each other, how much of the similar language you can take from acting to directing. But it's quite scary. It's such a big task, to have people really have faith in your ideas and also giving direction to then actors when you've been in that situation is quite strange.
Because something very different to doing what you're doing as well. You're sort of heading up a campaign, which is it's in the news at the moment. We heard about it just before we came on air as well. It was on the news as well. Tell us about the campaign.
Yeah, it's called Live Below the Line. This is the 3rd year it's been running and the 2nd year that I've done it. And it's running from the 29th of April, this Monday, to the 3rd of May. And it's basically a 5-day challenge where you live on £1 a day for all your food and drink. Which is
£1 a day?
Yeah. So that's what people in the extreme
I've just blown the budget, putting it in the
I think that's
really.
Probably your week's food right there.
But I was kind of used to cooking on a budget because I've been working in hospitals for about 3 years now, and the minimum we got down to was about £3 a day, but that was for 3 meals. But that's a tall order, really.
I think that's what it mainly is. It's the planning that, and working out what you're going to buy is almost the hardest part, I find. And then you don't, I think, realise just on your day-to-day activity how you'll happily just pick up a coffee or a tea or a sandwich or just socialising in terms of how much money that involves in terms of food and drink. You begin to realise that you've basically got to stay in for 5 days.
So how do you do it then? There's got to be a lot of eggs and a lot of
carbohydrate,
there's a lot
of eggs, a lot of pulses and rice. And then the only, you can never you couldn't put in any meat or fish or cheese or anything like that. And then vegetables, you realise are so expensive, so you have to kind of go for frozen vegetables. So,
yeah, Monica's out of it all.
Start growing your veg.
Well, this I don't know, you could probably make these and maybe live on 1 a day.
Yes, true.
Maybe something like that. You might not be able to have this. This is the little compote of strawberries, water, sugar and strawberries gone in there, but just double egg wash really on top of the scones. So you put them in the fridge, or you can just bake them straight as they are. And I put that little bit in there for the chef, but they've got in there 425 Fahrenheit, 200 degrees centigrade, one about sort of 12 minutes. And then we take them out, and you've got the little compote here, which is that, brought down with some buttercream.
Yeah, I don't think...
Blows the budget as well. But this is not just a UK event, it's a global event, isn't it, really?
Yeah, there's supposed to be 25,000 people doing it across the globe, with 5,000 in the UK.
And some serious names. Was it Ben Affleck he's doing
Ben
as well?
Affleck said last week that he was going to join, so that's great.
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, he's a big supporter of the challenge. And then Arlene Phillips, who else? Different. And then a lot of people actually, we've done, in the last 2 years, we've gone to the Houses of Parliament and set up a soup kitchen. A lot of people, MPs and different people within politics doing it.
Because soup would be all right, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, in the hospitals I was doing that for about between 8 and 20 pence a portion, so that would be all right.
I think that's what I'm going to do for my prep day tomorrow.
Right.
Cook a big batch of soup that I can have for my lunches at least.
Eggs and soldiers?
Yeah, eggs and soldiers are good, or porridge is quite good. That's a good...
But people can get all the details online, can't they? They can get it on the websites.
Yeah, and there's loads of recipe ideas that lots of people have done. People have got really inventive and managed to make quite amazing things for very cheap prices.
Right. Well, best of luck with it.
Thank you.
And when does it start?
Monday.
Monday?
Yes.
Well, you can feed yourself if you want to drink. But it depends where, obviously, you come from, whether you're Cornish or from Devon, whether or not you do this bit, jam first, cream first, but... Well, everybody would argue.
It all goes down one way.
I've probably eaten about 4 by the time people decide that anyway, but you get to dive into that. But there you have it. my scones, jam and cream.
They look good. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was only going to give you one, because I think Monica wants one.
I'll need the whole plate.
All right, there you
thanks.
go. Well, you get to dive into that. I'll pass you two over. You can dive into that. But nice and simple. But the key to it is obviously as well, don't put these in the fridge. And if you need them, put them in the fridge before you actually cook them. That's the key to it. I'll do a few more because it'll fill you up ready for Monday.
Yeah, I need to fill myself up.
There you go. Right, if there's a skill or a tip you'd like me to demonstrate on the show, you perhaps need much needed help with the cooking technique and can't quite get it right, then drop us a line. We'll try to cover them over the coming shows. You can get all the contact details via our website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Right, what are we cooking for Bonnie at the end of the show? She's going to be facing that food heaven, of course. I think it's everybody's food heaven, that luxurious lobster. The lobster is mixed with scallops and Chinese greens, and it's covered with a spicy lemongrass and ginger chutney and finished off with spring onions on the top. Or Bonnie could be facing food hell, of course. There's two ingredients, mushrooms and tarragon, in that classic chicken chasseur. The mushrooms are cooked with shallots, tomato, a little bit of white wine, a handful of tarragon, and the sauce is poured over some chicken pieces and served with a pile of straw fries. Some of our viewers and the chefs in the studio get side Bonnie's plate today, but you have to wait to the end of the show to see the final result. Are they all right?
Great.
Good, lovely. I passed. Right, it's time for 4 Celebrity MasterChef contestants to have a go at their first outside cooking challenge. They're preparing lunch for 120 staff at a trendy internet company. You should be interested. There we have it. It looks, doesn't that look great? Do you want to try the Jersey rolls?
Yes.
Try those. Let's have a taste of that, see what you think of that one. With the skater there. Tell us what you think of those. It's worth all the effort.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah. Great, unique way of cooking it. Like you said, you could do fennel like this as well, you were saying?
Did you ever serve them like one? Not.
No, we're going
serve them
to,
like this?
this year in Ormer, just for the season, to launch the restaurant, we're going to serve them very traditional like that. Yeah.
With a hammer.
With a hammer, yeah.
They're really good restaurants.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't
People
it?
love that.
Yeah.
And knowing the story behind the cooking is so much more interesting.
And the understanding about the vrac as well, of how traditionally how they used to grow them.
No, they're really nice because they're not. They're so tender, but it doesn't feel like they're roasted or they're not with loads of oil, which is nice.
Yeah, that's all you're allowed on 33 pence a
Yeah,
meal.
just
That's
one
all. That's
potato
it,
for
one
me.
potato, that's
Thanks.
it. Right, we need to answer with this. Let's see what Shakespeare has inspired Ollie Smith to choose for Sean's Super Skate. Cheers indeed. This is my second glass. I really enjoy it. I really like this.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cracking wine. It really, really goes well. There's a lot of sort of seawatery flavours, you know, with the Jersey rolls and the sea purslane. I think it cuts it all out.
Often when you try that wine, you've got to taste it on its, you know, with food, but that's great on its own.
I would drink that on its own.
Yeah.
We could.
Yeah, really, really good. Happy with that?
Yes, amazing.
You're going to attempt the Jersey rolls like that?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
There you go. Good luck with that one. Right, let's get back to Celebrity MasterChef, where our 4 competitors should be ready to dish up to 120 hungry people at a busy staff canteen. Will they get the food out in time? Let's find out. And there'll be more from Celebrity MasterChef on next week's show. Right, it's time to answer some of your foodie questions. Each caller is also going to help decide what Bonnie will be eating at the end of the show. First on the line, we've got Vicky from Essex. Are you there, Vicky?
I am. Hi, James.
Hi there. What's your question for us?
I'd like some recipes, please, for oysters.
Oysters.
Oysters,
Right.
okay.
Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I have some great ones. Take them out of the shell, dust them with panko breadcrumbs, deep fry them, serve them with tartar sauce, nice little salad. Get a bit more complicated, a nice parsley and oyster soup, so blitz the parsley and the oysters together with some stock, a little bit of cream and some wine. Nice little oyster and parsley soup. So, yeah.
Sounds pretty good. Now, you flour, egg, and basically those panko crumbs. Those
You
are the
do,
Japanese fried crumbs, yeah.
Yeah, got really nice and crispy.
Sounds pretty good to me. What dish would you like to see at the end of the show? Heaven or hell?
Heaven, please.
Heaven it is. Well, there you go. You've got 2 there to try this weekend. And Aileen from Norfolk, are you there?
Hello.
Hi there. What's your question for us?
I'd like a really good recipe for a sauce to serve with venison Wellington.
Venison. Well, there are lots that can go with it, but
Lots that
what
can
do you
go with
reckon?
it. You could spice it up and do a nice dark chocolate jus or gravy with chocolate through it. You can also try Madeira through your sauce, or a plain meat sauce or with the bones of the venison, and add some cranberries to it.
Sounds good. Now, you mentioned the dark chocolate, but you just grate that in right at the very
Right
end.
at the end, not too sweet, it's not a pastry.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's not
What dish
dessert.
would you like to see at the end of the show? Heaven or hell?
Oh, heaven, definitely.
It's looking pretty good so far, isn't it? Marilyn from Bradford, are you there?
I am.
Hi there. What's your question for us?
Yes, I've got lots of wild garlic coming through in the garden, and each year I just do garlic butter with it. So I'm just wondering if there's anything else I can do.
You lucky person.
gonna say
Wild
that.
garlic.
Lucky.
Bring it down. Bring it down to the restaurant, and we'll take care of it for
Yeah,
you.
no problem at all.
How are you ending with wild garlic then?
I mean, the dish I've just done, the lamb ragu, if you siphon out of that, which means chop very finely and finish that right at the end as you serve your lamb ragu, that would go down really, really well in there as well.
But we've been cooking with a lot with fish as well. Even if you just basically pan-fry a piece of fish, a little bit of brown butter over the top with a little bit of
A bit garlic through
wild
it.
garlic through it. But lovely. There you go. What dish would you like to see at the end of the show? Heaven or hell?
Oh, definitely heaven.
See, he said
Good
obviously.
day.
See, I told you. Right, let's get on to business. Paul. Right, well, it's that time of the show to find out whether Bonnie will be facing food heaven or food hell. Food heaven would be over here.
Yeah.
Lobster, or called Last Supper for you, I think.
yeah.
Ready for your week ahead. Or alternatively, we've got our food hell over here, mushrooms, and a classic sort of dish with the chicken and the tarragon. I know you don't like tarragon as well, but a classic chicken chasseur. What do you think these lot decided?
I'm hoping heaven, of course.
It was, of course, a whitewash. Easily, yes, 5-0. We'll lose this out of the way. Meanwhile, we're going to prep our... Well, I'm not going to do it, but Sean's going to do our lobster. And if you can do me the scallops as well, please, Monica, that would be great. So I'll give you that on that one. Meanwhile, over here, I'm going to turn my attention to this chutney. Now, this chutney is the one that I've sort of picked up on my travels, really, because I've been all over the place last week. But this is from barley.
I love ginger.
So this is ginger, but what we're going to do is we're going to cook this in the skins.
Okay.
All right. So basically, when you chop it through, because there's loads of flavour in the skins, loads of heat as well, and we're going to chop this through in the skins as well. Meanwhile, we've got the lobster. You can see how it's been prepped. You've got the line down the centre, and we just cut it through there, turn it the other side, and just clean it out. We're going to put the meat back into it as well. All right. Scallops there. Monica's preparing. And then with these, we've got these things. I don't know if you've seen these before. These are kaffir lime before, but when you grate them, it's that Indonesian sort of flavour that you get. They're fabulous. But these are fresh. You get them dried or frozen nowadays. Another ingredient that I use loads in Bali was this, lemongrass. But it's slightly firmer, the lemongrass that we get over here. But
it's firmer there, you said.
It's a lot softer there, really.
Softer.
Not fully soft, but a lot softer. A little bit of chilli. Throw that in. And then we've got our spices. So we've got some mustard seeds, we've got some dried chilli. These are curry leaves.
Okay.
And then we've got curry powder. We've got some dried some cumin seeds and some sesame seeds. This is asafoetida, which is like a plant. And then this is tamarind. And then we've got palm sugar. Palm sugar's lovely. So what we're going to do is we just cook this very quickly in here, or certainly get it started quickly. So a little bit of oil. There we go. That's going to go in there. And next we take our spices, which we've got these in there. We can throw these in. And get these started first of all. I suppose spices you're all right, because you'll be able to flavour those for next week, all the different...
That's true, yeah, that's always the hard thing, the seasoning.
Yeah.
And if you work that into your budget, or if you say you've grown them, I don't know, it's hard.
Yeah. Right, we've got this kai lan, which is cooking in there, which is like a Chinese broccoli, I suppose. It's between a broccoli and almost like a asparagus when you taste it as well, but it's called kai lan. That sits in there, throw the whole lot in. In we go with this, and the sesame seeds, the cumin, the chilli. So one thing you notice about particularly Indonesian barley, it's boiling hot, and the food's boiling hot.
Yeah, just to add
exactly.
to the...
But we can take some of this.
Yeah, I worked in Indonesia once, and I think I had nasi goreng pretty much every day
Yeah.
for 2 months.
This is the tamarind.
Yeah.
And you get different colours of tamarind. This is a much darker one, but palm sugar go in. And then what we do is we just cover this with water, really. Just a little bit of water, like that. And then really cook this down for about 30 minutes. And then what you end up with is this mixture that we've got in here.
Oh, wow.
So we've got this lovely, rich coloured mixture, and then we can take all that and place it in our blender. So we take the whole lot like that. Put the lid on. Start to blend that. Over here we've got this fantastic veg. This is the kai lan. We often steam this. Ice cold water.
Does that keep the colour?
Keeps the colour. We're going to chop it up, and also what we're going to do is we're going to pan fry it as well. You can pan fry it straight, like that. Put that over there. We've got the scallops ready. Looking good. Right, nearly there with this. We'll just clean this down. Have a smell of that. See what you think of that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It smells...
It smells like I'm on holiday.
Yeah. Spicy. It wasn't a holiday. Just 625 for lunch.
Oh, wow.
In a kitchen that didn't have air conditioning.
So
Not the
this
place
is
where you want to
luxury
be.
then.
Yeah, exactly. We just pop that into our pan. I'm not going to use all this, but you can keep this for barbecued meat or anything like that, which is delicious. Right, you can give us a hand doing this if you want.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to do, we've got our veg here. If you can saute off our veg, so we can a little bit of put our kai lan in there.
I'll bring it over for you.
There you go. You can stick that in our pan and just quickly saute that off.
You use your
Watch
hands.
it.
Use my hand.
I'll tell you, I'll put them in for you.
It will stick a little bit.
There you go, step back.
Ooh.
There you go. Meanwhile, Sean's prepared our lobster, cleaned out the centres as well, and we've got the claw meat as well as the tail meat, which has been diced up. The scallops there ready. If you can chop me a little bit of shallots as well, just for the top, that would be great. And then what we're going to do is just kind of finish this off with this chutney. So the scallops go in first.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. And then it's actually nice to cook fish that I know what I'm eating, because over there I haven't got a clue. I looked at this fish tank and it was every weird sort of creature that, but it got served to you. But some amazing, I have to say, amazing food.
Yeah.
Incredible sort of food out there. But Right, you see that? Have you tried this stuff? You must have tried this before. This guy on.
With some Thai friends, they have quite a bit of it. Yeah.
Lovely, isn't it?
It is fantastic, isn't it? It's like a
Finishy kind of curly.
lovely, really nice. And you can saute it off raw in the pan like that. But what they do is they fry garlic and onion crisps over the top as well, which is really nice. So, right, got our scallops.
Okay.
Just concentrate on what I'm doing. Then we go with our lobster. Run this through, and then what we're going to do with this is just finish this off with this ginger.
Lovely, that, isn't it? Really nice.
But I think the key to this, like I said, you can soften this down with a bit of coconut milk maybe if you wanted to, but
Fresh coriander, maybe?
yeah, fresh coriander too, it'd be really nice. Lime juice would be really good.
Coming to a menu near you?
Yes, that's it really, yeah. Coming to Jersey near you, but I think it's such a simple little way of doing it, but had it what looks like a little snapper as well, which was really nice. But
Well, look like a snapper.
well, look like a snapper. Do you want to pop that in the Monica? If you can stick that in the shells, that'd be great.
Put more in, like that.
Just use a bit of this water to bring this down again. Yeah, it kind of looked like snapper, but I don't exactly know what it was, to be honest. But that's the key to it. It's just
It's amazing how the fragrance can really get in. You can almost
Well,
feel them.
yeah,
Yeah, you can feel the
exactly.
steam.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
A bit more, you right there?
yeah, I think that's all right. Well, I'll leave you to carry on then.
Hot.
You've made such a good job. No, second round.
Take
He'll
a
take
seat.
it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to grab a seat, but yeah. But obviously the lobster's been cooked, so you don't cook it too much. So we're just warming it through. A little bit of water will soften it nicely as well. But so I would just pile it in the centre.
I know, but you know what I'm
you
like.
can't get away from these Michelin star chefs, you see, can you? It's got to be
All
pretty
needs to work
lines. And,
It's got a swipe on the side.
yeah.
No, come on, we moved away from that, come on.
I would just eat it from the pan. I'd be
Yeah,
impatient.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Right, there we're done.
You done?
It's done, yeah,
What's
we're
up to the
done.
rest of it in the pan?
Well, I just thought we'd eat that later.
Oh, right, okay. Spring onions over the top. Tell you what, these guys can finish it. There you go, I'll go get the wine. You can grab some knives and forks. To go with this, we've got a Taste the Difference Albarino 2011 from Sainsbury's, priced at £7.99. But you've got your spoon ready, you see.
Yeah, I was handed it. I'm not.
Washing forks, knives and
I
forks.
don't know how I'm going
They're
to
ready
really attack
now.
that with the spoon.
Dive into that, really. Tell us what you think.
Definitely food heaven.
It's from a long way away, that recipe, but dive in, Monica.
Smells
I'll tell you,
delicious.
see what you think. But,
Wow. Ooh. Very gingery.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really
So
amazing.
would it class as your food heaven?
Definitely.
Even though it's spicy
Definitely.
and...
Oh yeah, no, I love all the spices and the ginger and the lemongrass.
We'll finish off the rest, and good luck next week as well.
Thank you. Yeah, this is my last supper.
Yeah, well, that's all for the Saturday Kitchen. Thanks to Monica Giletti, Sean Rankin and Bonnie Wright. Cheers to Ollie Smith for the fabulous wine choices today. And remember, all the recipes are, of course, on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. We're back next week live at the same time at 10 o'clock here on BBC One. Don't forget, enjoy more Best Bites tomorrow morning over on BBC Two. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. I know I am. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.